How's it going? I'm Coach Colin with ShotMechanics Basketball, and today I'm going to teach you 4 deadly cross-step moves to break defenders' ankles.
This video is brought to you by my guys over at East Bay, the home of exclusive sneaker colorways and unlimited gear possibilities, shot by sport, brand, or even signature player. And right now they have some killer discounts to go along with their everyday free shipping. So click the link in the description to snag the best hoops gear today.
All right, so in today's video, I'm going to teach you 4 killer moves that are going to help you take defenders' ankles that are actually really simple to do. And it's all going to be out of a cross-step situation. Now, a cross-step's a move that is really underutilized by most players, but it can be crazy effective if used correctly. So check these out and hopefully they'll help you. Now, the first one we're going to work on is a cross-step to a rip back. So a cross-step is basically just the idea that when you catch, we're going to pivot, rip the ball to our back hip, and then cross our step in. It's almost like a jab step, but you're crossing the body line, right? You know, a normal jab step, you'd be jabbing out, but with a cross step, you're crossing and stepping in. Now this is great because number one, it totally gets you some space right out of the gate, right? If I've got a defender up on me and I cross step, they're gonna have to give me some space. And then so now when I open, I've got this space to work with. So the very first, kind of thing that we're gonna do on all of these moves is we're gonna start with that initial cross step, right? Where we're crossing, putting the ball on our back hip, getting this extra space with our shoulders kind of forward. Now from here, the first move is what we're gonna do is called a rip back. So as we catch, we're gonna come through, we're gonna cross step, and then all we're gonna do is we're going to low rip and then go back the direction we first came from, right? You can almost think about it like it's in rewind. We're cross stepping and then ripping back, pushing this direction. From here, you can read what the D gives you. You can get to the basket, you shoot a pull-up jumper, step back, whatever it is. But the whole reason why this move works so well is most of the time, when I cross step, they're gonna drop and they're gonna give me their top foot is gonna be the one closest to this foot, right? So basically with this cross step, we're forcing them to give us a top foot that then we can attack with that one dribble, right? So as I go here, they're gonna go a top foot, then I'm gonna rip back, boom, and push by it that direction, right? So it's really simple, but it's one that can really get great results. And a lot of times you get your defender sliding and kind of falling back, touching ground. So next we've got a counter. It's a cross step, touch and go. Now you see kind of like Isaiah Thomas used this one a little bit, but he kind of does it more out of a live dribble, but it's kind of the same sort of thing. As we catch the ball and we rip across and we cross step, we're gonna touch the ball of our foot, we're gonna look off backwards, and we're gonna shimmy our shoulders just slightly. So as you're ripping across, you're touching, shimmy, and then you're pushing with your opposite hand, right? So basically the touch and go is kind of like a freeze move. As we rip them here, we're getting space. As we shift, they're probably gonna close that space, so then we're gonna explode as they're closing the space, right? So the whole key to this move is it can be a little bit of a tempo. It doesn't all have to be super fast, right? If I kind of cross step, I can go slow and then spring out of it. So the whole idea is we're kind of lulling them to sleep, and then as soon as they start to close that space, bam, we're exploding out of it. From here, you're gonna wanna work on your different finishing options. Getting to the rim, shooting a jumper, shooting a step back, shooting a side step, all that sort of good stuff that you wanna be able to work on, shooting out of that separation, shooting out of that space. Now, one of the main keys here is you wanna keep your back leg loaded. So as we cross step, a lot of times what I'll see is players will overextend on their cross step. So they'll come through and they'll overextend too far out, and this leg will start to get pretty straight in the back. Now, if this leg gets straight, to load off of it, we've gotta come back, load, and spring. It gets too slow, gets too sloppy, right? So think about on this cross step, when I step, I'm probably gonna shorten up my cross step just slightly, and I'm gonna keep this back leg locked and loaded, so as soon as I touch and I shimmy, I can push off of it and actually use that explosion towards the hoop, right? When you keep that leg loaded, it's gonna help you out. You're gonna be much faster out of that touch and go. So next we've got a hip switch. Now we're gonna add a dribble right off of that cross step. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna start the same, catch, we're gonna cross step and rip, but here we're gonna throw a pound dribble at the same time this cross step's coming through. So as I'm coming through, I'm going to pound my shoulders and the foot, pound the ball and my foot at the exact same time, throw my shoulders just like that. Now from here, what I'm gonna do, as soon as I pound, I'm gonna keep my hand on top or on the side of the ball, and I'm going to hip switch, meaning I'm going to swivel my hips in the complete opposite direction. So you can see that my chest is facing the inside of the floor, and then as I swivel, my chest is gonna face towards the outside of the floor. Do you see how I do that? I replace my feet. My right foot's in front, pound, right foot's in back. So the whole idea of a hip switch is kind of like a hesitation or a freeze. Get your defender stuck for a second, and then you can explode out of it. So key number one, you've got to throw that pound dribble hard. So it's like come through, I'm throwing that pound, and then switching my hips. Key number two, when I switch them, I need to keep that back leg loaded. Just like the move before, once I come through, my right foot's gonna stay loaded. That way I can, boom, spring off of it as soon as I can. Key number three, if we can sell this with the eyes, that's where it gets crazy good. Because if I come through and I hit switch and I throw my eyes opposite, the defender's probably gonna slide up the lane, boom, push right through for that open finish. All right, so next move, we're getting that separation into your jumper with a pound step back. So it's all gonna start the same with the cross step as I come through, and it's gonna be the same as a hip swivel where I'm pounding the ball on my foot at the same time, but this time instead of swiveling my hips like we just did, I'm gonna pound and then launch back into my step back away. Now this move works really great because most of the time when I get this kind of cross step and I pound, your defender's gonna slide with you because they think you're driving to the basket. So as soon as they start to slide, you get this space back and all of a sudden you get 3, 4, 5 feet of space for that open jump shot, right? So the whole idea is we've really got to pound that ball, pound that foot at the same time, sell it with your shoulder, head, and eyes. So it doesn't really work if I come here and pound it with my eyes up. I really want to make sure that I throw those head, shoulder, and eyes down at the ground just like that to make them think I'm on that direct drive line. After that, I've just got to spring back and land loaded into my shot, right? A lot of players will land straight up and down kind of like this. As I'm getting that separation, I'm landing loaded. That way I can quickly spring up into my step back jump shot.